Insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
You have picked a very good day to join us today on the Bostonian versus the book. He is Dave Sharapan wearing, I'm not really sure what the t-shirt look
The
is.
Nuggets.
I know, but it's a hoodie. It's a hoodie. I'm Matt Perrault.
You know how cold it is in this house? We talked about this yesterday. Everybody's gone. They won't let me touch the thermostat. Freezing
I'm
in
Matt
here.
Perrault, the Bostonian. You guys are watching live on YouTube and on Twitter at Boston versus the book on both places. Live chat. How are you guys? Sports Grid replay. What is up, you late night owls? Thank you for watching and participating. You always can write us when you're watching the show. You can, our little Twitter accounts are underneath each of our names and our little faces. You can always shoot little messages to us at what you're watching. If you want to comment in your real time, not real time for us, but we'll do our best. We're late night owls, so we're up. We'll chit chat, have some good times.
Yes.
Derek Stevens, the one and only from Circus Sports, joining us coming up here in about 15 minutes.
Yep.
We'll get to some all the fun things happening for March Madness. So a couple of people, Dave, already tweeting, they're whining about the room rates coming to March Madness. And I said, you might want to look at November for F1 and then next February for the Super Bowl before you get too upset about what March is going to look like. You may feel like you're getting a bargain as to what's going to be coming here in Vegas. 23, 24, not cheap to come to this city.
No, it's not, and it's not going to be. We had on the president of the Las Vegas Super Bowl committee. He talked about, and you mentioned it during one of the shows. If you haven't seen it, go back and look on the YouTube channel at Boston versus the book. You can see these interviews we did while we were down there. But you said that they come in a month before. The NFL comes in a month before and books whatever rooms they want, right? So
they take over the room. They take over all the rooms 1 month prior to this, right after CES. So if you guys know what CES is, the Consumer Electronics Show, which is always a global event here in Las Vegas, we're going from that into the Super Bowl month. Yes. Because the NFL comes in, takes over the whole city, and the Pro Bowl probably is going to be here too.
Yeah. Have they announced that yet? Have they said that the Pro Bowl is going to be here? Okay.
It would be dumb not to, though. I mean, the Super Bowl is here. Why would you go somewhere else? Just keep everybody in the same spot. I mean, it's a long time in Vegas. It's a lot of employees.
What do you think the average trip to Vegas is? Like time?
4 days.
Somebody comes. I think it's less. I think it's 3. People come and get blown out. Tuesday.
2 nights? 2 nights? That's really fast.
3 nights. 3 nights.
Yeah, that's 4 days.
4 days, 3 nights.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 3 nights in a, when they come for the convention.
Yeah, 3 nights.
Monday,
yes, 100%.
Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, gone Thursday.
I'm 45. My first treks to Vegas, that's all I could do. Because the first night is oh my gosh, I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
The second night is let's go. And the third night is I'm not fully recovered from night 2. I'm just trying to make my way to go home. So I'm just trying to recover.
Yeah.
You know, the IV. That's why all the IV places are in business. But for night 3.
Have you ever done that?
No, but I've heard it's phenomenal.
I got guys that swear by it. I got girls that swear by it.
I have people who come to Vegas who swear by it on the third night. I told them, like, we should call it third night IV, because on that third night, you need a little pump up. You need that vitamin B.
Got OGs that start it. They start their trip with a trip there. So they're already fully loaded with fluid and ready to go. So they can, do Vegas the way they want to do it. Listen, Vegas is fun. You can find whatever it is you want pretty much here. And you can find it in different places. You can have a relaxing trip or one of those, I don't know what the term I would use, balls to the wall trips like you used to do when you were young.
Hangover movie trips.
I never see no tiger. I mean, we don't need to see that.
I didn't wake up with a tiger, but I've seen friends wake up with cougars, though.
That joke. First drop in there. That's guys in the chat. Look, the chat's flowing. It's up. You can bury Matt for that. Why you turn it red? If you're gonna zing it, you can't turn red afterward. You're gonna play it
because I know friends of mine are gonna do. If they see that, they're gonna be like, "Yo, I thought we weren't talking about that."
100%. They're gonna clip that, and we got guys that clip it. That one will be on there. Wake up with a cougar. Every Friday I'm trying to do like a little rap, that Mikey's done.
What?
With Derek coming on and us looking for our own thing,
Yep.
I
Don't
thought
rap.
of a song.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah. Heavy
It's
D.
it's Tuesday. What are we
We got
doing?
our own thing. I know,
Oh
but
no.
we got a big show. We got a lot of people watching. This is just a peek into what we do on Fridays on Roll Call Friday when
Yep.
everybody's here, everybody's watching, and they're replaying the thing on Sports Grid. But Heavy D, we got our own thing. And it's only 30 seconds. So just sit back and just listen. I pulled this out of one of the verses. Got a category of my own, and I'm the president. Don't be alarmed, but I'm sewing up the resident. With my particular extracurricular, smoother and trickier, throwing up lyrics like you throw up a flapjack. You're a chicken McNugget, and I'm a Big Mac. Brainstorm soloist, have a Coca-Cola with it, doing very well because I took the right road to this path. Maker, undertaker, record breaker, get up on the floor and do the Heavy D shake. Started with a pow, and I'm going to end it with a bang. We got our own thing. Thought that might have been apropos today. We got our own thing. You want to tell dad jokes? I'm calling on some late 80s, early 90s hip-hop, R&B, New Jack Swing, Heavy D. Let's
New
have a
Jack
show.
City. That was a movie. New Jack City was that was a good flick. That was a good
go.
flick. I love that flick. That was a good movie. All right. So today is the last day of February.
It is.
I'm wearing green because this is what this month has been. I got to do the calculation, but this may have been professionally speaking, my best month betting ever.
Wow.
I am saying goodbye. I'm kind of mad that tomorrow's not Groundhog's Day. The next Groundhog's Day is in 2024, which will be next year when we have Groundhog's Day.
Right.
But I am kind of
leading up to the Super Bowl in Vegas, Groundhog's Day, 2024. You know how much might change between now and then? You want to keep it the same?
I mean, February 2nd is Groundhog's Day.
Right.
But Groundhog's Day, technically February 29th, leap year, technically is when we get to Groundhog's Day in my mind. Like I look at when's the leap year? Next year, right?
What in the hell? Groundhog's Day and leap year are two different things.
Right. But leap year is well, yeah, it's two different things. That's true. But Groundhog's Day and leap year to me, I always feel like there's a day that doesn't exist, and that's Groundhog's Day. You live it again. Live 2 days, same day twice.
Okay.
29th to me. When I think of Groundhog's Day, I think of the movie, living the same day twice, and then I think of a date that goes away.
Do you know anybody with a birthday of February 29th?
I did in high school, yes.
Really?
Yes.
I knew one
Sucks.
person too. Yeah.
It was the running joke was, so what are you, 5? You're 6? Like, how many birthdays have you celebrated?
Right. Kids are brutal.
That stinks though. I mean, because are you
do you
born
celebrate on the
1st?
28th or do you celebrate on the 1st?
I think you have to do the 28th.
Same month, right?
Yeah, you can't switch months. It's a whole different world. Tomorrow's March.
But
March
it's technically
Madness.
like the birthday before the actual birthday.
St. Patrick's Day. I mean,
Yeah.
March is a whole different world. February is Valentine's Day. February is, school vacation for kids a lot of times.
Right.
Spring break here. So what I've been told is
boy.
that this cold weather is about to break. And when it breaks, we're going to go straight to summer.
Spring lasts like a week in Vegas.
Like there is no spring here. Like we're going to go from literally there's snow coming to our houses tomorrow, Dave. We're going to get
more of this
measurable snow on our houses. There will be measurable snow falling tomorrow in Las Vegas. Like a legitimate, like school might be dicey type of situation tomorrow in Vegas. But once we get through this system, what I've been reading and seeing,
right,
is that we're going to go to 90. Like we're going to go from like nothing to like straight summer. The pools will be rocking for St. Patrick's Day. So if you're coming here for March Madness or coming here for St. Patrick's Day, you're going to be feeling some nice temperatures.
Oh my! We have to break the shorts out. We're ready to go. We got to get the sun's out, guns out, legs out,
fast.
Look good, feel good, play good. All of the above. We're going to have shorts on in a week.
Yep.
Because I got this beanie on. I'm sleeping in it.
A little more than a week, but yeah. Once this cold system gets out of here, we're going to have some March temperatures that are more like Vegas, this is not like, I saw my breath this morning on February 28th.
Hell yeah, it was cold. Hell yeah, saw it last night.
What the heck is going on?
It was cold.
This is not
the
normal.
Meteorology portion of the show, boys and girls. Matt, the meteorologist.
So, okay, before we get to Derek, I just have to ask, because we didn't get to it yesterday, and
Yes.
somebody asked me on DM.
Yes.
Are the Bears trading the first pick in the draft?
Who knows? What in the world is going on?
It matters a lot from a gambling perspective because if
Well,
you're going
yes.
if you're going to look at the Bears and if they're going to trade the first pick, it's going to go most likely to a quarterback starved team, which most likely means it's going to be Bryce Young, which means betting on Bryce Young at minus 165 is probably a good bet.
Right.
So that's the theory. That's the philosophy of, well, if they keep the pick, they're going to go defense. Now, a defensive player is going to go number one, and there's some big pluses on defensive players going first.
All of which, that discussion right there, that 30 seconds to 45-second breakdown
Yep.
is exactly reason number I put it at the top of the fucking list. Why I don't have to book this shit anymore. It's a damn nightmare. Why would they trade the pick? Like, are they going to get a king's ransom for that pick?
The
There's
report
not
is
a
that
clear number
Houston,
one, isn't there?
No, the report is that Houston's going to go up from 2 to 1.
Oh, makes perfect sense.
And then they're going to go to 2, and then they'll be shopping the second pick, which will be less of a price than the first pick. So they'll pick up a draft capital pick 1 or 2, second round pick or something from the Houston Texans, and then trade for a first round pick or so with the second pick and drop back down and then have just an army of picks.
See, all of that discussion right there, that makes my head hurt. Like, I
Yes,
just want to talk
100%.
about the games.
But we're betting. But this is the change. When you were in the book, you were in the room. You weren't booking the draft. This is
No,
a
we
betting.
were, but we didn't put it up until later. Like,
Yeah,
we'll ask Derek. We'll ask Derek specifically when they're going to put it up. I mean, Benson said they're not putting it up until the week of or 2 weeks before, when you have the most information. It's the book's discretion to do that. Other books that we've talked to and had people on with, they're putting the stuff up now.
Yeah.
It's all speculative markets. You take two different approaches as far as
we haven't had the combine yet. You can bet what position group goes first. You can bet which player goes first. You can bet which quarterback goes first.
Too much.
You can bet which defensive player goes first. All those markets are open right now. We haven't had the combine yet. like we don't even have
too much.
I mean, it's amazing because that's where a lot of the deals get done. A lot of the the speculative type stuff gets talked about. Not happening. At least it doesn't need it, I guess.
Have you been to the combine ever?
The combine, no. Been to the draft twice. Never been to the combine.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to go to the combine. I don't need to go do that.
Oh, I mean, like our guy Adam says, it's great.
I mean, it's great for networking.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great for meeting people, but I don't know if it's great for like people like us.
Oh, he said that. Well, listen, they said they got great steak places there, and you go out to dinners and stuff. I love that.
St. Elmo's, man. I will fly. I will buy a flight just to go eat there.
It's
that cocktail sauce is the best on the planet. I'm a horseradish guy. It's the best. It cleans out your whole head. It's amazing. Fresh can be with the most horseradish you will ever have in your life. It will blow your hair back. It's so good. Gotta like horseradish though. Before we get to Derek, real fast.
Hair blow back. I don't know what I'm doing with that.
Joey Porter Jr. has to be a Steeler, does he not?
It would be fun. I hope so. But I mean, Dan Marino had to be a Steeler and wasn't a Steeler back in the day. Like, there's guys. Kenny Pickett was supposed to be a Steeler, and it worked out. Yep. So, yes, Joey Porter, Penn State guy, Joey Porter's son. That would be awesome. Plus, they could use some help covering guys. That would be great. Do they have him projected to be drafted by them?
He's in the vicinity. Like, he's projected anywhere from 10 to 20.
Oh.
So you got the Steelers at 17.
Okay.
If they don't move, if they don't trade up or down. But if they stay at 17, he'll be on the board potentially. The Patriots also might draft him.
Okay.
And take him off the board before Pittsburgh can take him. The Patriots might.
What pick did the Patriots pick?
13th, I think.
Okay.
The 12th or 13th, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. I mean, the Steeler fans in the chat, put yes or no on Porter. I mean, I say yes.
I say yes.
First round? He's projected to go in the first round.
Yeah. He's a ball hawk. He's a really good defensive player. He'll help that defense out a ton.
Yeah.
Whatever defense gets him, he'll be huge. The Patriots they've got big needs at offensive line and wide receiver. So I would really rather them go offense than defense. Their defense is good enough. They need help on the offense and the offensive line.
I was gonna say, don't
So
they need people to block for the
yes,
quarterback?
desperately,
Like, that would be
desperately.
that's where we would start. I don't think they need any defense. The defense is the best unit, no?
Yeah, 100%, way better than the
Yeah,
offense.
right.
And the secondary is the best part of the defense. So I think it's kind of like it's always better to get cover guys and get good cover guys. Bill always loves drafting defense, and I understand why. But the receiving core is so bad. Like they have to get a high level receiver and they
Right.
have to get an offensive lineman to help Mac Jones. And with a new investment in Bill O'Brien, I'm assuming they go offense versus
Okay.
defense in the first round. But Bill is known to trade out. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see Belichick trade out and just say, forget it. We're just going to
Oh
go ahead and
god.
go to the second
Really?
round. Yeah, that's what he does. That's
Oh
what Bill
boy.
does. He trades out all the time. So it wouldn't shock me at all. But I mean, Joey Porter just feels like that's the move for Pittsburgh. That's the perfect fit from a
Right.
team
Right.
perspective, player perspective. Penn State kid, you guys need defense. You go ahead and do that. And this is where the markets all pop up because if you think that, you can look and see, which market you want to bet. Over under on
Right.
guys getting drafted is sort of the thing. It's easy to do. So
Well, we'll discuss that after. I mean, we got Big D sitting in the background. He's probably gonna come on and talk about what the hell's going on for March Madness and all that other stuff. So we'll shelf the
yeah, Matt, when
draft
you're ready,
talk.
you can bring
And
on Derek. You can
he's
pop him
yeah,
on
he's
whenever you're ready to
as
go
soon
in the
as he's
back.
ready, we're ready. The guy's busy and he's wearing a really nice suit, which he always does. So we got to make sure that we're ready for him. So
Look
so
at that.
oh, look at this. Just like that, he popped in.
Look at
Hi,
that.
Derek.
Hey, fellas, how you doing? Good to talk to you.
Well, good to have you.
Well,
Thanks for being here,
yeah,
Derek Stevens, Circa Sports. Your first appearance on BVB. Thank you for
thank
the
you, sir.
time. We appreciate it. How psyched are you for what's about to happen here in March for March Madness at Circa?
Oh, it's terrific. I mean, in Vegas, all these tournaments they start kicking in this weekend. This is really going to kick off the month of March, in a pretty special way here with all the tournaments start kicking in. We got NASCAR started showing up
That's
here
right.
yesterday. I think we're actually going to have a vehicle up at Stadium Swim that they want to tool around in up there. So that's going to be a little fun figuring that out. We
Oh,
got John Jones fight coming into town. We got big league weekend with the A's and Reds playing in Vegas, and then
all right.
man, basketball all over the place. So this March is going to be an epic March. So we're all pretty stoked.
So every March now for a number of years, you do this thing where you go bet all of the opening round games. Derek, you can say whatever you'd like on this show. We have an edit button that can keep all the swear words out later, but we can swear, we can say all that stuff. We made that perfectly clear the other night. Are you going to fucking do that again where you're going to bet every game in the first round? Are you seriously going to do that?
Well, I did it a couple years. So the first year, I was talking with Brett Musburger and he said, what can we do? I go, well, I don't know. I'll give it a shot. He said, would you bet 1,000 on every game right when the line comes out? Like, would you make a play within like 10 seconds? I'm like, yeah, okay. I said, I'll do it for 10,000 a game. And then we did that. And, that didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. What we did the following year was we worked with a couple of books. We took 3 books in Vegas. South Point was one, Westgate was one, and I think Caesars was the third.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, okay, we'll do the same thing, but I want to have a couple guys behind me that have my apps open, and I need 30 seconds, and that kind of helped out a little bit. So we bet into the opening number at between the properties. We had enough time to shop for a number, so
Right.
that had a little bit of a different outcome. I think
Ooh.
we ended up, 5-6 games above 500 for that year, so that wasn't bad. So that was all right. That was a lot of fun.
10 dimes a pop. I mean, like, when a guy says, will you bet me the opening number? You guys do that at Circa. I mean, like your opening number, literally, like for college football, is the opening number across the world. How important is that opening number? You've done it betting 10 times a pop on the college basketball, which you're crazy, but you did it. And now you actually got a book that's taking opening action numbers every single week on college football. How is that by running the book and seeing that, how has that changed your perception of that whole thing?
I kind of like it. I think like the thing that Chris Bennett, Matt Metcalf, Jeff Benson, like myself, a lot of things we talk about is that what's the worst thing that can happen? We take a bet at a bad number. I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen.
Thank you.
Let's accelerate price discovery here. Let's get to the number and let's have a little basis. Let's have a little basis in a matchup here. I mean, there's a little bit of a race for us. Let's see how long is it going to take us to get 100,000 action in a game. And once we get there, you feel a little more comfortable. And how much longer is it going to take us to get to 200 grand in a game? So let's just accelerate the price discovery. And it's not as if we have these aspirations that we're going to have a great hold percentage. I mean, frankly, on the openers, we have a negative hold percentage. I would think here. And really for us, it's to get that point where you feel as a book you got a better number. That's our model. It doesn't mean our model's right. It doesn't mean somebody else's model is wrong. I mean, we're just a little bit different. We don't need 50,000 or 100,000 customers. Betting $10 or $20 or $100 into something and really pushing parlays on people. Yeah, we love it when people bet parlays, but that's not really the model that we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who's willing to put some of their hard-earned work and sweat equity combined with their cash into a number. We feel that we can develop a strong number more quickly.
Love it.
Derek, when you guys were getting ready to open Circa and look at the philosophy, when did that become the prevailing thought? Because I think a lot of people who have come into the space have watched what you guys have done from you at the top all the way down. It's pretty much uniform. You guys have this opinion that you want to be taking bets. You're here to take bets, and you're not worried about your hold percentage. You're not worried about the numbers, but you guys really want to take action. How was that, like a first day type of conversation? Like, guys, we're going to open a book and we're going to take bets.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the thought process. I mean, we opened Circus Sports in June of 2019. We opened it with a physical book inside, my oldest property, which is the Golden Gate. Shortly after that, over at the D Las Vegas, and the reason why we opened at those locations, we knew it was going to be more than a year ahead of when we would open up our flagship, our sports book at Circa Las Vegas. So I wanted to make sure that our guys had basically a full lap in, effectively all sports, all seasons in before we opened our book here. COVID threw a little bit of a wrench into some of the schedules in early 2020, but effectively that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get give our team the ability to book all the different sports, with this philosophy, to develop the team in the risk room, our traders, develop our ticket writers and front of line staff. And that was always a thought process kind of going into things, is we wanted to take that approach, because we opened in Nevada, and we're very Nevada focused, very Vegas focused. So really what that means is we never had this thought process in the back of our mind that, hey, let's use sports in every jurisdiction we could get into as the gateway method to get people onto our iCasino. That's a pretty strong business model. I'm not saying it's wrong either. I'm just saying, if you've got a book in Jersey or in Michigan, a lot of what's going to get you going is how you market to your private equity guys, your lenders, and you explain, my whole percentage is going to be 15%, because I'm going to get people in through sports, and then I'm going to segue them over to my iCasino, or I'm going to do big iCasino bonuses, things like that. That was never really our business model. That never came into a discussion I ever had with Matt Metcalf or Mike Paul or Ryan Rubin or anybody. I would say maybe in some ways we were maybe more orientated around being an old school book. I mean, we all bet, we all went to windows. We're all old enough that we know what it's like to go to a window. We believe that there's enough money out there that politicians are going to start really focusing in on legal sports books.
Yes.
So we thought, well, let's go down this path, and we never really had a model that was orientated around hit this quick pick for a 5-team parlay and we're going to hold 20%,
Right.
or hey, come on in, we're going to give you a bonus.
No.
If LeBron James scores more than 1 point today, then you're going to double your wager. Now you can't get the money until you play it through your our
5 times,
5 times, 6
our
times.
game. So that was just not us, And again, I'm not knocking. I'm not somebody knocks another guy's business model. It's just our model is more about sports, a little bit more old school, and that's kind of what we always thought we were going to do, and that's kind of what we're doing.
So you're Vegas centric, and so many things happen here, and so many people come and experience Circa. They walk in. Every person that watches the show and wants to come to town wants to come to Circa. I meet people down there all the time with the big wall, the video wall, stadium swim, all the different things. The Legacy Club is amazing. We've been up there a couple times. Are you prepared for what's coming with this F1, Derek? Like I don't know what to expect, and I've lived here 20 years. This sounds like it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it should be great. I mean, I've had the ability to be on Vegas's Super Bowl host committee, and been involved in a few of the F1 discussions with LVCVA, and just for perspective, for some of your listeners here,
Right?
The investment that Las Vegas is making in F1, it's bigger than Super Bowl. It's substantially bigger than Super Bowl from a state and a city and a convention visitors authority perspective. And then you double it up is the investment that F1 is making. The one thing about F1 that maybe a lot of people don't know is if you look back, maybe a year ago, there's a story about all the land that they bought, kind of behind the MGM and where the Ferris wheel, and the Caesars
Koval Lane, for those people who know Vegas.
So that piece of property, it's massive. It's just south of the Tuscany, and what F1's doing, I mean, they're building a massive structure, and it's under construction now. Now you can actually see the form of what they're doing.
Right.
But what it is it's all the paddocks. It's the start finish line. It's these big bleacher areas. They're going to control a lot of the ticket inventory and the high end hospitality. And what F1's really doing, they're really turning the Las Vegas race into what's going to be the premier race from their perspective, where they can control a lot of the shots, a lot of the revenue. When you think about some of the races, some of the famous races, let's just say Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is famous because it's famous and because it's been around a long time. But from an economic perspective for F1, it's not optimal because of all the buildings, housing, and apartments there. They don't control a lot of the inventory. So Vegas is going to be basically the model for F1 going forward. And I'm telling you, this stadium and this hairpin turn that they're building up on this huge 20-foot back angle, it's going to change things. So we're pretty excited about it. This is going to be at minimum, it's a 10-year deal, but I think this is going to be more like a 30-year deal by the time we get done with it.
Oh my goodness. So Dave and I, and people in our audience have been a part of the Circa Survivor and Circa Million for every year it's been in existence.
Got all the hats.
All the hats over there, and they're all very expensive hats that sit on my thing. Go, that's a pretty expensive hat.
Yeah.
What is the future? What is the next iteration? Are you guys going to continue to raise the stakes here every year? You've jacked it up. What is Survivor going to look like going forward? What will Circa Million look like going forward?
You don't have to divulge all the secrets, Derek, but like I know Palm's going to tell you don't raise the guarantee, and I know that Benson's going to be like, seriously, you're going to make me sweat for 4 months because you're going to raise the guarantee. Are you going to raise the guarantee?
Yeah, we're a little early to talk about it, but uh, I'll tell you, we always say that, right after Super Bowl we get together, and we've had one meeting so far, and you know, um, you got the right characters in here. We're starting to talk through it a little bit and trying to game plan out calendar. Obviously, we want to keep growing, and we love this. Obviously, I'm biased. I mean, I think circa millions this year was spectacular the way it played out in Circa Survivor.
Was amazing.
I think the fact that was the largest football contest in history, kind of that statement kind of stands alone. So we want to continue to get better. So we've got a few ideas. So I got a couple tricks up my sleeve that we
Ooh.
might be rolling out here. But I would tell you a couple things that might be something of interest for people to know that have participated in this and love it is that we really can't make the final determination too early because a lot of what develops is schedule dependent. We knew
Yep.
after year one when we had 35 contestants go undefeated and go 19-0. I thought, we know we're going to grow this. I don't really want to have something where we could have 200, 300 people go undefeated, and you feel like you have to go undefeated to win it. I think some year you're going to have, someone's going to win on week 16 or 17 or
Wow.
something like
Yeah.
that. It almost happened this year where
Yeah.
we had one individual with a a scoop of the pool, and that individual ended up getting nothing. But I think we really got to talk through, when schedule comes out. When we added the 20th game, which was the holiday game at Christmas,
Yeah.
um, you got to really got to think about how is that going to play in. And when we look to the 2023 football season, one of the key elements is understanding how the schedule is going to get flexed. So, and how does that work in
Right.
with our software, things like that.
You
I
threw
love.
everybody for a loop with that little twist with the holiday thing, but that was actually a unique thing and a fun thing for you guys.
Yeah, we thought it was great. It made people go added another game to the mix,
Right.
which I think
Mm.
we needed. What I love is I love sitting at the end of Mega Bar or a long bar at the D and people coming up to me saying, "Hey, I participated. Hey, I got an idea. What do you think about this?" I love hearing a lot of these ideas, like sitting
Do
around
you
30.
really though, Derek? I mean,
No, I
because a
really
lot of
do.
people come up to you and give you their shit right at the counter. We were sitting there and you had to throw that guy a couple beers and say, "Please." I mean, like, you hear all the shit too, don't you? I mean, seriously.
Well, yeah, I mean, not all ideas are great. I mean, of course, I can tell you that. But but I would tell you there are a lot of great ideas. And some of the ideas that have come up that we've not been able to implement that we really, really like. One of the things that a lot of people don't really understand is the limitations on the software.
Right.
Software is probably the most difficult situation. What we built, the flexibility of changing something is not that easy.
Not easy at all.
It could be on a really good idea. I mean, it could be a year and a half, maybe 2 seasons before we could implement.
Right.
So there's a lot of costs that go into it, and then when it comes down to it, is like, well, okay, this software update, it's going to cost $500,000 to write some new code, and we won't be able to implement it for 2 years. And
Ugh.
then we got to think about we don't take a rake. You know, I mean
That's
that's the other thing. If we took
right.
a 10% rake, we would probably have a little more capital to invest in the development. But I really thought that this was Mike Palm's idea. Let's take no rake and all that. I liked it after digesting it for a week or two because really what it does is the the, the, the gaff here is pretty simple. Is we built a great sports orientated casino in Circuit Las Vegas, and in the state of Nevada, there's no remote registration, no remote funding. You got to show up to a property. So there's the gap is that we know for people to participate, they've got to show up on one of our properties. And then I'm comfortable saying that I know a percentage of the people that sign up are going to like our property
Right.
and they're maybe going to want to stay here some other time, or maybe they've got a business and they're going to want to buy 10 hotel room nights in October or in May or something like that. So that's the gaff, is just we want to get people to our property and get people to experience it, experience a great dinner at Barry's, or have cocktails at Legacy Club, or check
8
out
East. Don't
games
forget about 8 East. 8
at
East is the
East.
best place in town. I love that place.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's really kind of the whole deal about it. So, with us not taking a rake, we really want people to come and experience our property. So, that's kind of a long-winded answer to how we got to make changes and how we develop
Right.
and tweak out Millions and Circus Survivor.
Last one from me, sir. And then Matt will tie it up. So expansion plans. Benson does a great job on Twitter, and we had him on the show last week or the week before, and we talked a little bit about it. But he always says we don't have any expansion plans, but we can't wait to bring circus sports to you the way it should be, whatever that line is. Illinois is on the horizon. You're a Michigan guy. We got a ton of people that watch this show in the Midwest. They can't wait for Circa to get in these different markets. I'm not asking you to tell me what's next or specifically when, but when are people in Chicago going to be able to download and look at a Circa Sports app, or even go into a Circa Sports book in Illinois?
Well, I can tell you, from our perspective, hopefully it's as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I can't give you when. It's not like I'm holding it back. The way the Illinois regs work is a casino has to open up. They get a there's a period of time where the casino has to open. And once that casino's open and they go through this regulatory period,
Right.
at that point in time, the non-restricted casino licensee has the ability to open up a sports book. Now we've negotiated a deal with Full House for the new casino in Waukegan. It opened 2 weeks ago, so that's a good step. We've fully gone through all of our licensing with the Illinois Gaming Commission, so they've got every tax return of mine from back when I was 18 years old.
It's not an easy process. Like, people think you could just open up a sports book. Like, there's a whole process that you have to go through, and it's would you use the word invasive, or kind of like they check everything, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely know more about me than I know about myself. That's for sure. But yeah, we went through all of our physical interviews, all of our all the tax returns, all the details. We've had visitation here, as well as I've been in Illinois a number of times now since this has taken place. So really, for us, we're hopeful for some point in time this year, but it's the timing is not really within our hands. Once we can get there, I know our team, myself, we're going to throw a couple big old parties in Illinois. That's for sure. So we're going to have a lot of fun with it. As far as other jurisdictions go, yeah, I mean, we want to grow circus sports in other states. There's a handful of states that really kind of stand out to us. When you have a business model like we do with running a low hold model, some states may or may not be of interest to us because it may not match up with our business model. So I'll give you a couple that don't. One very clearly would be the state of Tennessee. The state of Tennessee has a mandatory hold percentage.
Right.
That's triple what our hold percentage is. So we don't have a business model that could work in the state of Tennessee. So therefore, that's not a state that we would want to get into, in any way. New York's 51% tax rate state. That's a little bit of a different deal. And I don't think that would be something that would be applicable, but we certainly think that, at some point in time down the road, Ohio, New Jersey, obviously, my original home state of Michigan be right up there.
People want you up there, Big D. They want you in Michigan.
Well, we've been doing some advertising in Michigan now for about 10 years, because of the D Las Vegas and because of Long Bar and all that. And we do a lot with that particular station. 97 won the ticket and that crew. And Yeah, we'd love to get to Michigan at some point in time. But right now, we want to open up Illinois. We want to make sure our tech stack's in order, and then we'll be ready to take the next step.
Thank you for coming on. We'll end it with this. You mentioned the D. Bar Canada is a phenomenal place for hockey people to go watch the Stanley Cup playoffs when they start here in a couple of weeks. We always ask our guests, because I love hearing what people think about this, because I am the Bostonian, so obviously I'm a Bruins fan. Who is winning the Stanley Cup, in your opinion?
Ooh, very interesting. I had dinner with with Coach Cassidy on Friday night, and
Nice.
it's pretty interesting, like his perspective on being a former Bruins coach and really an incredible record as a Bruins coach, and then asking him and his wife how much they love Las Vegas and how things happened. I guess I didn't realize, but when Coach was let go in Boston, it was 8 days later he got signed up here in Vegas, and
Right.
they're obviously pretty happy for a lot of reasons for being in Vegas. I do think.
Don't say the Bruins, Derek. Don't say
what?
Don't say the Bruins. Don't.
Oh.
Please. Don't.
I'm not going to say the Bruins.
Thank you.
But the one thing about hockey is when a team gets hot, you start thinking about them. I mean, look at what the Rangers have done. So far this calendar year, since the beginning of January, in a team that I think nationally has been kind of talked down upon. And maybe I'm biased because I watch them a little bit more often, but I like the way the Golden Knights may be coming together here. And this goalie coach they got that's been working with Thompson and the rest of the goalies. It's a little bit different. Like Coach Cassidy was saying, it's a little bit different when you have to run a 3 goalie rotation, and how you set up your game plans and things like that. So, I right now I kind of like the run that the Golden Knights are going to have in the West, and then I think I kind of like what Turk's got going with the Rangers, and on the east side, obviously the Bruins are in the mix. So I know you said I'm not allowed to bring it up.
I mean, you can. He called the show Bostonian versus the book. They win every day. People come into your books. They come into books everywhere. Bet the Bruins money line, bet the Bruins puck line, and they just cash tickets every day. It's annoying as hell. But
Derek, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate the time. We'll do it again soon. All right.
We'll see.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. Great talking to you.
You too. That is Derek Stevens of Circa Sports and Circa Las Vegas downtown. Great place to hang out, to be a part of. How about that the F1?
How about that?
10 to 20 years. More investment being made into F1 by Vegas than the Super Bowl, which makes sense though, right? Because one's a one-time thing. You'll get it every 10 years. The other is an annual event. So it makes sense.
They're building like the track, the turn, the slope, if you drive. So,
well, here, I'll tell you this. This got released today. The pictures of what's going to happen on the strip, everyone's like, yeah, they're not going to build. They're building more than just the permanent structures that we're seeing in front of the Bellagio fountains on the strip. They've now expanded it. There's even more.
Right.
This is going to be the whole length of the strip. Basically, is going to be these overlook bleachers to look on the strip. It's going to change the entire look of Vegas.
It's going to change so much. And one thing that's already changed is the state of the road. The Big Sig Kylie was driving there. She went to see UNLV softball game.
Right.
She texted me and said, "What's wrong with the road? They've redone the road. Might as well be gravel right now.
Yep.
It's so choppy and bumpy. It goes like, and because they're going to repave it. They're going to
the whole thing,
the whole thing. Everything is going to be repaved. And then Derek just said about that turn, that land behind there. They have the sports book at the Tuscany.
Yep.
So he's very familiar probably with that land right behind. Yep. By the way, that's a great book in and out. If you want certain stuff and you don't want to go downtown, but you live on that end of town,
to cash tickets,
zip in, cash tickets, set up accounts, all that stuff. They're building this gigantic turn over there. It's going to be nuts.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks to Derek for coming in, and that was fun. Okay. Let's talk some college basketball, some March Madness here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Alabama is currently 9-1 to win the national championship.
Yeah, I got
Can
that.
you, in good conscience, recommend, given
No.
what's going on with Brandon Miller, for
I
Alabama
don't
to win the
even
whole
know
thing?
what's going on with Brandon Miller.
Nothing at the moment.
But at
I did
9-1,
I did a whole thing on my class yesterday because Alabama told the media after the Arkansas game, you are not allowed to ask any question of any player or coach other than the game. That's it. You will be escorted out if you ask a question other than the game.
wow.
Bama laid the law down on, because you have the national news media that's showing up for these games. Like, this is not just a sports story. So it's bigger than just Alabama sports or Alabama sports writers.
It is. And again, this is what happens, right? You have a team who's had a really successful season, and only the local media have paid attention. And then something controversial happens, and they're looking to bury you. And now the national media want to come in and bury you. They don't want the local people bashing them either. So they say that. I don't know if that's the right approach. But as
As
far
a
as
journalist,
betting
you
it,
got to you have a choice. You can either listen or you can do your job. And that's the big,
well,
the
if you do
reason,
your job and they take your job away,
if you're a
then you
sports
don't have a
reporter, you have
job
to,
to do.
if you're a sports reporter, you have no choice. You have to listen. If you're a news reporter and you show up to one press conference every 3 years for Alabama basketball, that's where maybe you say, okay, fine. But then your outlet gets their credentials pulled. So that's the one thing. Teams can dictate who is allowed in and who is not allowed into their private event, even though it's a state institution. So there's a lot of really sticky things that go on when you start to tell the media what they can and cannot talk about. And for what I've read, at least, I wasn't in the press conference, obviously, but they
Right.
behaved and they didn't cause any real issues. But Nate Oates is right now having to explain what he knew and when did he know it involving
Right.
his players.
Yeah. And to answer your original question, 9-1 to win it all right now. I wouldn't bet 9-1 on anybody right now.
Too low?
It's- Do you feel confident that anybody in this whole thing can be single digits? We talked
Nope.
about this. We've talked about this continually. I think there's a lot of people in the chat that would probably agree with us. I don't know who the favorite is. I mean, it's Houston by odds.
It
And
shouldn't be, though.
like, Gonzaga was the odds on favorite for a number of
Years.
years.
Yeah.
Didn't
Never
win it.
won it. Never won it.
Hard to
Okay.
imagine that somebody's 6-1, 8-1, 9-1, depending on the path. You're better off just money lining that team and rolling it over. You're going to get a higher payout.
How about Purdue at 10-1?
Come on, bro. Is this seriously? This is a serious question. I thought that was a ha-ha joke in the rundown.
I'm asking you. No, seriously. You said no single digits. They're 10-1. Would you bet Purdue 10-1?
No.
Nor would I.
Would you? I was no way.
No way.
No.
No
Hell no.
way. Not
No.
even a question. But here is a team I would bet.
Would you bet Purdue at 20-1?
No, I wouldn't. I think Purdue's.
Whoa.
I don't think Purdue's very good.
Well,
I
that
think
was
Purdue,
personal. That's not personal.
I don't think Purdue's very good. I don't think any Big Ten teams. I think Big Ten's going to get bounced fast in the dance. But what do you make of St. Mary's? So this is a team that actually, because as we talked to Matt Lindemann yesterday from WinBet, and he's absolutely right, that KenPom has a love affair going on with St. Mary's.
Yes, they do.
They have St. Mary's as a top 10 team. They have St. Mary's ranked ahead of Texas, ahead of Arizona, ahead of Gonzaga, ahead of Baylor, ahead of Marquette. So a lot of teams that people like, and they're right behind Kansas, probably the number one team people like,
Right.
to win the national championship.
Right.
Well, how do you feel? Could St. Mary's be the team that shocks everybody? Because I like this bet a lot. 850 to win their region, not the championship. 8.5 to 1
Just
to make the Final Four.
Yeah, we don't even know what region they're in or
Correct.
their path. So
Correct.
you're kind of taking a speculative buy like this draft betting. Can they win 4 games in a row in 2
Yes.
different cities?
Yes.
And you're only getting 850.
Only
Like they're
getting
gonna, well,
850?
I mean, they're going to be favored in both the first 2 games, most likely.
Well, if they
depending
make
which
the
seed
West
they
Coast
get.
Conference final and beat Gonzaga for the
They
second
make the
time,
West Coast Conference Final. Did you see the way that tournament's set
yeah,
up? They gotta
they're
win
going to.
one game, and they're
Yeah.
in the Western Conference
Them and
West Coast
it's
Conference Final.
Gonzaga has made 25 straight years to the final. Is that nuts?
Well, they have it set up where they only have to win one
Right.
game to get in.
But still, 25 straight years is amazing. So it's going to be Gonzaga versus St. Mary's, obviously, right? So if they beat Gonzaga for a second time, they're going to be a top 4 seed. They're going to be on the 3 or the 4 line, most likely. So they got a legit shot to win.
Justifiable to you?
This bet's justifiable. Then be a
No,
4 seed,
them
absolutely.
being a 3 seed. 3 seed?
I don't know. 3 is too high. 4 is
3
definitely
seeds, top 10 team in the country.
they're top 10 according to KenPom.
What are they in the AP ranking?
I mean, they lost to Houston by 5. So that they have played some high-level talented teams this year and lost by 5. The
Right.
rest of their non-conference is not very good. They haven't had
No.
much great non-conference stuff.
I don't know. These things are so hard as far as like for years in the book, we just took all the bets on Gonzaga and said they're not winning. They're not winning. They're not winning. And they never did.
Right.
I would have to think that St. Mary's is the same way. And I mean, we'll know more. I don't know what exactly we're going to do on Selection Sunday, but we'll be able to see right away the path. This may change. This may go up. Like you may get 10-1, depending on if they're in the if they're in Kansas's bracket, 1-4, they got to
Yeah.
beat Kansas and then beat the 2-3.
I mean, I'm massively biased on Kansas, so I think St. Mary's could beat Kansas because I think anybody can beat Kansas in the tournament. Literally anybody. If you're in the tournament, Kansas can get beaten by them.
Kansas fans know that too.
I've just seen it. I've just
Yep.
seen it way too often when they
Yep.
get bounced. So
Yep.
someone said in the chat is saying, Matt, might as well go bet Creighton. Okay, here's my take on that.
Oh,
How
speaking
is
of which,
Creighton and
look at this.
Gonzaga? How do they have the same odds?
Look at
Oh
this.
my
Look
God,
at
you have a
this.
Creighton hat. Look at
Yeah.
that.
They brought one back for
That's
me.
phenomenal.
How about that? Look at that Creighton Blue Jay, baby.
The new school. I still have a tough time with that logo. It still doesn't sit right with me, but it's
I'm not sure this would have been the one I would have picked. I was looking for
This is
baby
the blue.
but
That is such a Toronto Blue Jay to me.
it
That
is.
just the old school Creighton C is what I like. That's just the old school block C is Creighton.
Okay.
But the Jays have the same odds to make the Final Four as Gonzaga, which anybody who has any brains, if you're watching these two teams, Gonzaga would kill the Jays right now. Kill them.
Gonzaga would kill the Jays right now. Would they?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
In Creighton?
I mean, you're not going to play at Creighton. You play on a neutral. On a neutral floor, Gonzaga would annihilate the Jays. I don't get this. How Creighton and Gonzaga have the same Final Four odds. I don't understand that.
Well, because Creighton took a ton of money leading up to the season.
Okay.
They were a buzz. There was a lot. I mean, there was a
I'm
buzz.
It was bad
A lot-
buzz.
A lot of people were taking big numbers on them, which drove that number down. I mean, don't forget, Creighton started at 100-1
Right.
and got driven down. Gonzaga started at what, 8-1, 10-1, and had to be brought up because they lost a couple games early and they weren't really competitive in a couple games, which was unusual for them. So you kind of, and now with the way the season's gone, Creighton had the down, so the
They're
number
still on
went
the
back
down.
up. Well, then it came back. They won, what, 7 in a row?
8 in a row. Jimmy Jack said he'd bet Creighton over Gonzaga on a neutral court. I would book that.
Yeah.
Yep, I'd book that. Timmy would kill Colbrenner. Kill him. Be an awesome matchup, but Timmy versus Colbrenner, I give Gonzaga the big advantage. And then the guards, I know, you have family ties with Creighton and Gonzaga with the Nemhart boys. So clearly there'd be some very interesting storylines.
Right.
But I don't know. I think Gonzaga is a much better basketball team than the Creighton Blue Jays are right now. The Jays draw, if they face anybody with some grit, anybody with some toughness, they're in deep trouble. Deep trouble.
This is where I think, we'll see this last week. A lot of things are going to be said. A lot of things are going to be seen talked about Gonzaga beating St. Mary's the way they did and setting themselves up as the 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They're the 2 seed because they lost the tiebreaker, whatever that is. If they win the West Coast Conference tournament
Championship here in Vegas. Yeah.
tournament, whatever, that number's gonna come down. If Creighton wins the Big East, now we're talking
Yeah.
a bunch of money on them coming in,
Boy.
and I think you'll see that, but you won't see that big of a drop because they still you don't even believe it. You're a Creighton fan.
I don't believe it at all. I think they're in deep trouble in New York. I think that there's some teams. I think Villanova is the most dangerous team in the conference at the moment. They're healthy and they're believing in
The
themselves.
Marquette people are on one line and the UConn people are on the other.
Yeah, I don't buy Marquette. Let's talk about Marquette. Marquette tonight is laying 8.5 points at Butler.
Yeah.
Marquette's 13th. Ken Palm has Marquette at 13, Creighton at 14, just for those people who want to know at home.
Okay.
Butler to Ken Palm, this is an 8-point margin, so the number is a little bit higher than that at 8.5. I love Shaka Smart. Okay, I do, but this is a ragtag. At some point, the bubble's got to pop with Marquette, in my opinion, and it hasn't yet. But at some point, this is the date, this is the game that does it, but I just feel like there's going to be a game here that they're going to trip up down the stretch and lose one they're not supposed to. This might be it.
Really?
Butler stinks. Stinks. I don't know. They overlook them. They don't take them seriously.
No way.
You lay the points?
I don't know if I even touched this game as far as wagering on it, but Marquette's not losing this game.
Marquette's 9-3-1 on the road ATS this year.
Yeah, they're not losing this game. We may have found the number though to give pause.
Some books
It's
are at 9
in a couple places
Some
already.
books are already at 9. Yeah.
3:30 start Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. I love these first games. I get to exclusively watch it,
Right.
without any other distractions. So I'll have my eye on it. I mean, this might be a perfect in-game opportunity. Hope Butler has some
Smart
home court bounce
right
start.
Hinkle gets going. I don't know. Is it senior day? I have to check the schedule. We're in that senior day time.
Oh, the last week of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that always gets, I mean, there's two ways of playing that. The first, if the coach decides to play all the seniors, if they all stink and they're all on the court for the first 2 minutes, you play, first half, you play Marquette first half,
right.
Or they're good and they're going to be hyper emotional because they're playing their last game at home and they go completely crazy.
Right.
And Butler's to play in the first half.
I just hope it gets down to, a manageable number. You get Marquette minus 3.5 or something, and then boom, zip them, because they're going to win a basketball game.
Right. Arkansas is on the road at Tennessee tonight.
Oh,
got a 6-point line or so here between these two in the SEC.
You buying the Arkansas buzz in the
I
SEC?
am. Yeah,
Are you?
I almost bought them a ticket when I bought Creighton at 30-1. I almost bought Arkansas at the same time. Arkansas's recruiting class is phenomenal. Eric Musselman is a very good coach. I just don't know. They've been so hurt and banged up. Now they're healthy. They go to Bama. They lose by 3. They're now on the road against Tennessee. They can Tennessee's going to slow it down. The under in this game is live. I think it's 134. It's really low, but I think the under in this game is 100% live. If I was going to bet
133.5 now.
Yeah. Okay. If I was going to bet this, I'd bet the under in this game. Both Tennessee and Arkansas are under teams. 17-11-1 Tennessee to the under, 16-12-1 Arkansas to the under.
Wow.
So if I was going to bet this, I would bet, but it's weird because 5 out of the last 6 games for Arkansas have gone over.
Right.
So they're on a run here, but I still think the under is the play.
There's a little bit of a buzz about them. Like
there should be
in that underground guys that I talked to, they're like, have you looked at the Arkansas futures? Have you looked at the Arkansas to make the Final Four things?
Yeah.
This is one of the best stories of all time when somebody came in and kept saying Arkansas. They wanted Arkansas. And I was like, I said it back to them and they said it back to me. And I had the whole line, the whole book on my side of that day.
Laughing.
We referred to them as Arkansas all the time. Why not?
Texarkana, we doing that too?
No, I mean, unless you're gonna bet on them and you come up to the window. Yeah.
Texarkana.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yeah.
Texarkana.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good stuff. Yes, I am buying the buzz on
Okay.
Arkansas. I
Alright.
am 100% buying the buzz right now. I'm not buying the buzz on Texas A&M. I love Buzz.
Oh,
I love Buzz Williams, but 5.5. They're laying it at Ole Miss tonight.
it's down to 5.
Okay, it's that's the right side.
That's too the dog is the right side, just like
Yep.
that?
Yeah, to me, it is. I just
Okay.
I don't think that. I mean, they just fired their coach. If you want to talk about teams that bounce back after they fire their coach,
Mhm.
Ole Miss just fired their head coach, so maybe
Oh,
a bounce spot here for Ole Miss. But
okay.
I don't know. They're 19-10 ATS A&M, 11-5 in the SEC. They've been tremendous.
Mm.
I'm just not 100% buying. Ole Miss is 5-10-1.
Oh, yeah. This
I think Ole Miss
sounds
plays hard tonight.
I can't believe you didn't look at the Big Ten games. Indiana 5.5 at home
Why do you
against Iowa. The
why don't
total's
you scroll? Yeah.
156.
Hey, scroll down.
I did. I'm just
Scroll
throwing it
down.
out
What are you
there.
talking about? It's on the
throwing it
rundown.
out
We're
there.
that's bet. I've already bet the game. It's
I
better to book it.
understand.
We're coming in on
While
this.
we're talking about this is the last bit of the college basketball before we move on to the NBA. Villanova at Seton Hall, only
Yuck.
-1.5.
That's a trap game. No, thank you.
What?
That's a trap
It's a
game.
what?
I don't want any part of that game.
A
No
trap
way.
game?
Yep. I
What the
want
hell is a
no
trap game?
for Villanova on the road.
Oh.
They should win that game easily, and they won't.
Trap game. You calling the outright loss?
I don't know. Seton Hall's 15-12-1 ATS. They're
Uh-huh.
7-7 ATS at home,
Uh-huh.
7-10 Nova on the road. Nova's not a good ATS team. They're 12-17 this year ATS.
Mm.
They're playing much better. They just beat the Jays by 12 at home. They beat Xavier on the road by 1. This is the game they lose.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nova loses to the Pirates.
Seton Hall played Nova 2 weeks ago, lost by 4 as 5-point dogs.
Chef Benny says Villanova's not winning.
Yeah, this is a danger. That Nova game is a
Chat,
danger.
anybody that's been here, thank you again for being here and hitting the like button while you're here. I need Nova, Nova, or Hall, Hall, in the chat right now. Who do you like? Who you got? Put it in there. Let it flow.
Yeah,
What the trap game? Whatever. Again,
I think it is for Nova.
Is Michigan State at Nebraska? Is it not?
I mean, Nebraska's playing very well. I'll
Michigan
give Fred
State is 4.5-point favorite after what they just did.
Yeah, I'll
What?
give. Well, the whole idea is that Tom Izzo is going to have his team spitting nails. I mean, they're going to be furious after what just happened at Iowa.
4.5.
Nebraska is 9-5 ATS at home, and they've covered in 4 of their last 5 games, 4 in a row. Covered against Minnesota, Maryland, Rutgers, and Wisconsin. They won all 4 of those games as well.
Wow, that's a good line. Look at this chat. We got a Hall Nova, Hall Nova, Hall Nova, Hall Nova, Hall Nova Nova. Perfect line. That's what this business is about. Make a line and get it to action. That's a split. That's a split thing right there. Wow. Okay. Mikey, awesome. Chevelle. Everybody's a comedian. He types Chevelle instead of Nova. I mean, what is he talking about? Please.
Cars. Yeah, Michigan State, Nebraska, is a danger game to bet. That's tough. Michigan State might go out there and beat the brakes off of the Huskers. They might kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Izzo just blew a double-digit lead in a minute and 11 seconds. Got outscored 20-11 in the final
Over's
130.
that game, is it not? Just bet the over. You can bet the over.
Nebraska over? No, Nebraska's a dead under team. Although, wow, last 5 games have gone over. How about that? Wow, Nebraska's now an over team. You're right. 8-2 over the last 10.
8-2
Where did
over.
that come? Where did that come? 10-5 Michigan State on the road.
To the over?
To the over. Yep.
Sounds like an over game.
Wow, how about that? I would never have bet that over, but look at that run for Nebraska.
More you know, now you know.
Last 3 for Michigan State, last 5 for Nebraska.
Damn,
I've gone over.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I still like the under. So I'm not betting it, but I still like the under.
Okay.
That scares me dramatically. I think Michigan State's going to play I mean, Nebraska might score like 45 points if they're really angry.
Mm.
This could be, I mean, there's a massive talent mismatch between these two teams. It's just whether or not Michigan State's going to focus in and play hard after what happened against Iowa. I can't see them not.
Okay.
All right. So you made the proclamation that the Lakers are making the playoffs as a 6 seed. They're not going to be in the playoff game.
Son of a.
LeBron busts his ankle right after you say it.
Done. I put it on him. Blame me.
So now it's an evaluation process. They will look at the ankle in 2 weeks to see where he is at, which basically means they're fucked and they know it.
Right.
So he may miss the rest of the regular season.
Oh, boy.
Do the Lakers avoid the play-in game without LeBron James?
Do they avoid the playing game? They may not even make the playing game.
Come on. You think they're going to miss the playoffs entirely?
I mean, they jacked them back up to 55-1 to win the NBA championship.
Fair.
They have them now, and I'm referring to the FanDuel odds. Conference odds are 34. And then
just for reference, they're a half a game out of the play-in.
Okay. Los Angeles Lakers to make the playoffs. At FanDuel, the rule is settled on final 8 teams in the playoffs for each conference after any possible play-in tournament has concluded.
Yes,
Yes,
the final
no.
8. The final 8, yep.
What do you think the number is?
15-1.
15-1 to what? You get a better yes, no.
Oh, yes, no. I bet
To make the playoffs.
Yeah, on the yes to make the playoffs, it would be 15-1.
Yes is plus 225. No is minus 290.
I'm way off. Oh,
Yes.
I think they're a long shot to make. I think they make the play-in, but I think they'll get beaten badly in the play-in tournament if LeBron can't play.
The play-in tournament is win 2 games. They only got to win 2 games.
Right.
They win
I
the
think
first
they
one.
lose. No, they'll
then-
lose.
Well, if they win, if they're 7 or 8 and they win that first one, they're in.
Yes. But I
Way
don't
to work.
I think they'll lose. Without LeBron, they'll lose to one of the teams they'd face, whether it be Golden State, Utah, Minnesota, New Orleans, Trailblazers, Mavericks, whoever they wind up playing in the play-in tournament, they'll lose without LeBron.
Okay. Yeah, if he's out for more than, I don't know, a week, they can't have
he's out
him
2 weeks. He's out minimum 2 weeks, but he's out
So
2
he's
weeks.
going to miss what, 6 games? Is that 6 games of the 20?
He's going to miss. I think he's missing the rest of the regular season.
Oh, bye-bye.
I don't think he's playing again until the playoffs. I think that they're going to try to get him healthy until.
Bye-bye.
I agree.
Bye-bye.
Like this was the thing they couldn't absorb.
Garland's in the chat. He wants a hat. Garland, remind me, reach
Everyone
out
wants hats.
on DM. I know we're working on it. Just
So
DM me.
they've got DM you. They can't DM you. They DM me when they can't DM you. This is how it works.
Follow. Okay.
You say
that's fine.
DM me, and then they DM me.
And
say,
then
"I can't."
send me that they
Dave
DM you, and I'll DM them.
I
DM
tried
them.
to DM Dave. I can't, so I'm DMing you
That's
to
fine.
tell
And then
Dave.
send it to me. That's what happens.
They're
I
playing
take a
some
lot of
weird game of
DMs
telephone.
that they don't DM you either. So don't think you're the only one.
But they can't DM you unless you're following them. So you know them. Randoms come at me.
That's true. I got
That's the
enough
problem.
randoms walking around every day coming at me. You can deal with the randoms in the DM.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love
We
that.
definitely don't want to bother Farra. Farra's got enough shit going on. You don't need to be bothered with the randoms.
Goodness gracious.
Please.
Okay. So Lakers are tonight without LeBron catching 9 from Memphis.
Dear God.
How do you feel about this game?
I mean,
No, thank you.
Eric called it price discovery. This is outstanding work. Price discovery. Overnight line was 4.5.
Whoa.
I don't know how many books. Let's take a quick look at the line history here. Yeah, nobody really opened at that. That was 8.5.
Okay.
8.5 was the opener. It is now painted 9. His ankle ain't going to be fixed by tonight. No, thank you on the Lakers. I don't want anything to do with them. Do you?
No, but I also wouldn't. I also not sure I'd lay the 9 points though.
No, we've done enough work now here and on the Discord a little bit, and through even other things on your podcast,
Right.
with Daily Juice. You don't have to lay 9. There will be an opportunity to lay less than 9, most likely in the
Yeah,
game.
it's so funny because the Daily Juice people always come at me, and they came at me yesterday. They're like, "So you haven't bet NBA in a long time. Do you think you'll bet NBA anytime soon?" And I said, "No."
Pre-game?
Yeah, I said, "No." They're like,
You
"Why?"
don't
I
have
said, I'm only betting NBA in game. That's all I'm doing. I'm not betting anything pre-game. I want to watch the game and see who plays, and now I bet it personally. But I'm never going to do it overnight. I'm not betting overnight NBA. It's a fool's errand right now because what in-game wagering gives you is a chance to get a much better number. Like
right.
this at one point might be 2 or 3. Like you might get a one possession number out of this game and take Memphis.
Yes.
So
It's
no, I'm not
it's
laying
it's
9.
so rare anymore where a team leads from start to finish. So you have to watch the games
Mhm.
or at least have the app open and keep an eye on the score and know when to jump in. If you like Memphis tonight, but you're not comfortable laying the 9, wait until an opportunity to play them and lay 4 because you're probably going to have it. I don't know
Right.
when, and it doesn't always mean it's going to win. But part of the goal of what we're doing here is making better bets when you have the opportunity to do it. Why lay 9 when you can lay 4? That's all we're talking about.
Is Giannis playing tonight? Because that was as bad of a moment in the last game for the Bucks that I can remember. Doubtful, 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 doubtful. Oh, fuck it. Play him in the starting lineup. Here he goes. Like, I was like, people looked at me and they're I was like, that's why I'm not betting the NBA. Because the whole day, doubtful, doubtful, doubtful. Every report, he's yeah. Hey, wait, starting 5. There's Giannis on the court. How fair is that?
It ain't fair, but it's typical. And I was on Bucks minus 1.5. We had
Ugh.
talked about it the night before. It was one of the last things we talked about. I said, "What is this number? This doesn't make sense." He said he's not playing. I said, "It says he's not playing, but that AI thing that
Right.
read the story said, 'Oh, Giannis is leading,
They're doing it again. If you go to ESPN.com, Antetokounmpo, Bucks set for matchup against the Nets. In
he's
the
playing.
headline,
He's
he's day
playing.
to day.
Yeah, he's playing.
6.5 would tell you he is.
I would think so, but, I mean, the initial move came from 5. It shot up to
Right.
6.5. There's 3 books at 6.5. Dear friends of mine at 1, 2, at 2 of them.
Mhm.
They're trying to find this out right now. This would be one of those lunch moves where I'd say to the guys in the room, "Hey, I'm on the show with Perrault. Move the Bucks to 7.5 and see if anybody wants to bet Brooklyn." Because he said and I said that he's playing. Let's see what we got to do. So, again, if we had our own book, we'd move the damn number and say, let's find out. And if nobody bets it, he's definitely playing. Is he listed in the props? Another good indicator from the books that do the individual props. Not that
Mhm.
many of books here do it, hardly
Mm-mm.
any actually.
Hardly any.
But like FanDuel, we can pull that up right
I'm
now.
doing it right now.
Yep.
Player
you look it up.
points, Giannis is listed 29.5.
I would say he's playing, and I would
Okay.
say Milwaukee is the play because the Nets are ka. Shit.
So speaking of shit, the
Yes.
Rockets are hosting the Nuggets. You're wearing the Denver stuff today.
Damn right. Put that one back on. I
Are you
usually
going
don't do it
to
second.
advocate laying 10.5 points tonight?
The Nuggets.
Double
Did you
digits.
see what Dame did to the Rockets?
Yes.
I mean, I would bet if let's see, player awards MVP. Let's see. Regular season MVP
Giannis
right
has a
now.
big lead.
Jokic
Sorry,
is
I mean
minus
Jokic.
310.
Jokic has a big lead. Yes.
Okay. What if he puts up another triple double tonight? Which,
I mean,
by the way, he's like
what do you
half
mean? What if
right?
he's going to put up a triple double?
The only
If he
danger
plays, if he gets yanked before the fourth quarter ends or before the third
this
quarter ends.
this could be the problem. This might be all right, big honey, go in there, do your thing, get
And
some
then sit.
points, move it, and then sit the whole fourth quarter,
Maybe possible.
and you don't get it. I in no right mind, sound mind, all of this stuff. Am I going to say, yeah, there's value on the Rockets? Hell no, I don't want the
But
Rockets.
you also can't advocate laying 10.5.
No.
I mean, it's
No.
10.5 points in the NBA. It's just
Oh,
scrubs can lose by 6.
Let's see. Oh, it's going. Our boys at DraftKings are at 11.
Yeah, it's going up because everyone's going to bet it. I get it. I mean, the Rockets at home are 13-13-2 ATS, 1-4 over the last 5, and Denver is 4-1, 7-3 ATS.
Yeah.
But they're 13-17 on the road overall. So I don't know. I mean, you look at double-digit lines for Denver this year.
Yeah.
It's not great. Okay, they laid 10 against Atlanta. They won by 20.
Okay.
But then they were, let's see, they were laying 11 against Orlando, won by 3.
Okay.
Laying 13 against the Lakers, won by 13. Laying 14.5 against the Suns, they won by 29. Washington laid 11, they won by 13. Against Utah, laid 11.5, won by 5. So, I mean, they've been.
Chef Benny just came in and said that you could do a chalk parlay. Grizzlies, Bucks, Nuggets, money line. Somebody find out what that pays. That's probably even money, a little bit of plus money.
Grizzlies,
Bucks, Nuggets.
plus 110.
I mean, it's 3 games. It ain't that. I mean, there ain't no rhombus or parallelogram that's going to tell you that that's a good play. But I can tell you this. I did an experiment years ago. We were sitting at the M Resort working, and me and I with Danny, who I love like a little brother, call him the Schly. He goes, we should just do 2-game money line parlays the rest of the season and just go set up an account and all this other stuff. And I said, well, quit talking about it. Let's go do it. So we did. We set up an account and we did 2-game and turned into 3-game money line parlays. Sometimes they get plus money. So rather than laying 240, we were getting plus 110 just like that. We took 100 and ran it up to 4 times.
Whoa.
Just betting those things. Like the bad teams are trying to lose. There's not many opportunities in sports where you have the teams putting out rosters that have no intention of winning a game. Now, every once in a while, you're going to get caught.
I'm betting this now. I'm just going to bet this while we're talking because I'll forget.
I mean, Denver's not losing to Houston, are they? I don't seriously doubt it. Memphis is not losing. Memphis could actually lose to an inspired Laker team. I highly doubt it. And they're right. I mean, Milwaukee's playing for the 1 seed against Brooklyn, who got nobody.
Wow. William Hill has G League numbers.
We got a team here.
I know. You can bet on the Vegas Ignite.
Yeah.
They're playing Iowa tonight.
At home?
Yeah. Here.
Time's the game.
7:00. That's really kind of funny.
Shoot over there and go.
So there's that.
Told me if I take the kids on a school night, she'll go crazy.
And so you want the Grizzlies because Lakers aren't. So we're saying the Lakers aren't winning this game. Let's see what this pays at Caesars. Caesars pays it at plus 102. So it's little. FanDuel's better odds. FanDuel is plus 110. Caesars is plus 102.
Okay.
Don't hate it though. I mean, you double your money.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could. They're all at the same time, though, right? That's the problem. You can't really hedge out of that if you need to. Well, no, Milwaukee, Brooklyn's early. Lakers
you could round robin it
at the same time
if you want to.
No, that leaves you an out if Denver's losing. You can take Houston plus the points or Houston on the money line.
Just bet it on it.
You can't.
I just bet it. It's easier. Plus 102. I'll take it.
Call it the Chef B. There's no B's and C's today, but the Chef B special. There you go.
I like it. I'm trailing you, buddy. I'm trailing you, Chef Benny. I'm in. I'm in. Let's do it. And then one more. Rockets are laying 4 against the Blazers. What's Dame gonna do for an encore?
Rockets.
What?
You said the Rockets.
Sorry, Blazers. Warriors.
Blazers are laying 4 against
Blazers.
Portland. Oh, what does Dame do tonight? I mean, how do you follow up 71?
No idea. Isn't the theory though that he has an off night?
Of course.
It's like the no hitter. You fade the guy after the no hitter.
Yeah.
He scored 71. Most likely he'll go under his points prop tonight.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to bet over. It's going to be inflated through the roof and then bet the under.
Yes.
So
all of which could be the case. I like the game over.
Yeah.
236. Let's see. 236. 235.5 coming down. Rhombus is like it under. I like it over more.
Wow, they like it under? Well, that's
Well, I mean,
why.
if the
Okay, Golden
initial
State,
move's coming
yeah,
down. Yeah, the play's down.
yeah.
The play is
13,
on.
17, and 1 to the over. So 17, 13, 1 to the under for Golden State on the road. 18 and 11 Portland to the under.
How do you follow up 71? Clown MB3 said 72 is how you follow up 71. We got a lot of comedy writers in here.
Comedians.
It's-
My goodness.
I love it, Clown MB3. Shout out
All
to
right,
you.
so the number is coming down on the Boston Bruins. They won again last night against Edmonton. A bunch of salty, pissed off, whining crybaby Oiler fans on Twitter last night talking about the expected goals should have been way higher. And yeah, I'll complain. That game should have gone over. How in the hell did that game not go over? It was 3-2 going into the third period, and nobody scored in the third period, not even open net.
How did they not get open net? That was crazy.
So I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But numbers coming down. Money on Calgary. Bruins win again.
That's the sharp play. I don't know. Linus is back in net, right?
Yeah, it's just a blind. I'm betting the Bruins, just period.
Of course. Surprise, surprise.
I'm just betting the Bruins.
Number of hat changes for me on the show most of the time.
Way
Over. You betting the Bruins when they're playing. Yes.
Well, right now it's just not. I'm not even blinking. I'm just firing. Just it's not even a question. Calgary can win the game. I think this is the game I thought they were going to lose last night.
Right.
But I don't. I mean, they have a chance to run the table on this Western Canada swing,
which just doesn't happen.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. Like it's really hard to do.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row, and this is their fourth game on the road before they go home. This is the game they lose. I get that, but it's Calgary, so it's like, I don't know.
They'll lose
Calgary's
Buffalo on Thursday.
Probably 15, 11, and 2. Calgary at home, straight up. But Allmark going in net is huge to me. First game was a 3-1 win for the Bruins in Boston. I think it could be a 3-1 win again.
Under in this game, no?
Probably. Don't mind the under.
6 under minus 120 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Under. It's minus 130 in places now.
I laid 126,
123, and 130.
What did I lay last night? I think I laid 130 last night. Yeah.
This is I ain't betting this game, but I'll bet under. Under. I'll watch this game again. Oh, yeah. I am not gonna lie. I enjoyed the hell out of that Boston and Edmonton game last night. I watched the Edmonton feed.
Oh,
it's more fun right now to watch the other team's feed.
Well, because they are so gushing over the Bruins. Like it's, they have to talk about how good they are, because then if their team wins, then it only blows up how big of a win it was because of how great it's like, when you beat someone and chant overrated, it's stupid because it belittles the team that you're cheering for. You don't chant overrated because the team you just beat. You want to elevate and say you're better than they are, and they're really good. So that means you're really good. I love listening to the opposing broadcast.
It's way better. I like it a lot.
How about this total today?
Wow.
Islanders Wild is 5.
About time.
5. Wild 8-2 to the under over their last 10. 18, 12, and 2 all year. Islanders are 5-3-2 to the under over their last 10. It was 5.5 last night when I bet it. It's now 5.
It's still 5.5 everywhere.
No, it's back up then. It was 5.
Under. Well, no, I haven't looked at FanDuel yet, but it's 5.5 under minus 145 is pretty much market price.
No, it's still 5 at FanDuel.
Just move to 5.
FanDuel was minus 142 to over
to 5
on 5.
Oh God. I mean, seriously, what are we doing? That's crazy.
Because the play's under.
I just got a text that says Ken Palm references versus hat changes would be a good cross-sport BVB prop.
Well, considering what I use team rankings in Ken Palm.
Okay.
To bounce off of different college basketball conversations as
Gotta
to
have
where the
two sources.
where
Just
the
like
numbers are,
two
where the
sources.
references are, where the
Right.
projections are.
Yes.
So it depends on how many college basketball games we talk about because I'll reference it almost every time because I've gone through the entire slate last night. I went through the entire every night. I go through all of them:
Right.
NBA, NHL, and college basketball, and I look for discrepancies.
Right.
So if it makes the rundown, chances are I found a discrepancy. So it's probably
Right.
whatever the number of college games are will be the number of Ken Palm references on the show.
Yeah.
It's a fair
And
point.
I think the hats are reproducing like rabbits. So I have hats, but I can control the number of hats.
That's
So
true.
if I check the rundown and then see maybe the number of possible Ken Palm references, I can have under or over that number.
True.
So
You can control the market. Yes, that's true.
right, maybe not a bad
You
idea.
going under? You go under or over 5 at FanDuel minus 140.
Unders plus money at 5, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Plus what?
It is plus
Plus one.
116.
Okay, I was gonna say plus 120. That was my number. Still got it. Still got it. Yes. Yes. Under. Game's 3-2. This is like we talked about this, and sometimes we sound like we're saying the same shit different day. SSDD.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are. This
Right,
is an
but
under game. I don't know who's gonna win.
yeah.
I would lean Minnesota. I can't believe the line's only minus 130.
Mm.
It's got to be a
Good.
little bit higher. The Islanders are playing pretty good, but
Gobsons in a net.
under, especially if we get a first period under 1 or less.
Don't jump ahead on my better to book it.
I'm just saying this number's going to drop, and we can in game we could get under 5 plus money and over 3 plus money.
Yeah.
Have some things working.
I laid juice last night on under 5.5, but
Auntie, by the
What's
way,
up?
shout out to you, sir. He just came in the chat and said the Bruins announcer's terrible.
Which one?
True or false?
Jack Edwards?
I
The
guess
TV
so.
or radio? I'm saying I'm
TV,
guessing
you
it's
must-
TV.
Yeah.
Well, Jack hates me, so I'm cool.
Jack
with him.
hates you personally?
Jack hates me personally, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I guess I was going to ask Jack to come on the show. I guess not.
So because I
All right.
famously went to Jack and asked him to do a favor to come on my morning show on WEEI
Mhm.
with me and Kirk Minahan. And Kirk Minahan
Oh.
spent about 30 minutes yelling at Jack Edwards.
That was that story. You
That's
you
that
told
story.
that story on the air here. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So Jack really doesn't
Jack
like me
won't be on the show. Great.
because I'm the one that put him onto that. That became a somewhat of a front page sports story in the Boston.
Uh-oh. Matt's frozen. Snap your fingers. He's stuck. He's back.
Nope.
You froze. Nope.
Nope.
He's frozen.
I'm not back.
Move your thing. There you go.
1, 2,
All right.
Now I'm back.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, my bosses were not happy with me because they told me that was not my job, and I said, "My job's not to get attention." What else? Like, what do you mean it's not my job?
Dear
So don't create
goodness gracious.
divisions in the Boston media. But Minahan, if you remember, it was after they went to Montreal, and Jack had this long soliloquy about the Revolutionary War and fighting the Redcoats and fighting Montreal, and people didn't really appreciate it. He made some weird references that people didn't like. So
Addison came in with his daily PSA to remind us that the Bruins are 29-0-3 when scoring first this season. Thank you very
Amen to
much,
that.
Addison. Appreciate that. Good work.
Fire on them when they score first.
Yeah.
So the St. Louis Blues are 4-1 to the under over their last 5 at home. Seattle is 3-2 to the under on the road. Total is 6 in this
Under.
one. You like under in this one?
Under. Sounds like
St. Lu-
under.
Well,
Smells like
St. Louis
under.
was I bring it up because St. Louis was one of the best home under teams in hockey, one of the best road over teams in hockey. But
Yep.
they're 5-5 over the last 10 at home.
Watched a lot of them against the Penguins the other night.
Mhm.
Playing pretty good.
Mhm.
I think under.
Okay.
Scary a little bit with
Yeah.
Seattle, but I like under in the game.
And then
I think
finally,
St. Louis is live to win. That's a big plus money home dog.
yeah,
Damn.
Kraken's so good on the road.
They were
They still
the
are.
last couple road games.
They are still 17-9-3 on the road. Kraken lost their last road game to San Jose 4-0.
Yeah, smoked. by bad.
let's see. Before that, they lost in a shootout to Winnipeg, and they beat Philadelphia 4-3. So they're 1-2 straight up
And
on
they
the
lost
road.
a couple before that Philadelphia game, right? On the road. They run that long road trip.
Yeah, they lost in New York, New Jersey, and all three New York
They
teams.
lost to the tri-state area.
Yeah, they lost all three of those games in a row. Yeah, and to Edmonton before that. So they lost 4 straight. They beat Chicago 8-5 back on the 14th of January. So they've been kind of questionable.
Yep.
Florida, Tampa, Battle of the Sunshine State.
Man, oh man.
Who do you like?
What in the hell is this number? These two teams battle, but I feel like Tampa owns them. And I did wager talk right before we started the show here, and Prez swore that Florida was the play. And
They might be. I just need one of the two goaltenders to play like they're capable of.
Total 7.
Not anymore.
Oh, 6.5 over 40 at circa 7 everywhere else. 7 under minus 25.
That's what I took.
Under?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So when you go back and look at Bobrovsky against Vasilevsky and what they have done, Vasilevsky gave up 7 goals the first game after the All-Star break to Florida.
Okay.
Followed it up with a shutout, 1 goal, 2 goal performances. Then he gave up 6 goals to Buffalo, followed it up with a shutout. He normally, when he has a bad game, he normally has 2 or 3 really good games afterwards because he's pissed off the way that he played. Bobrovsky hasn't given up more than 4 goals in 3 years to Tampa.
Oh, wow.
So he's had games in the past where he's given up 5 and 6, but it hasn't happened recently. He's more giving up 1, 2, or 3 goals a game to Tampa. So I just need Bobrovsky giving up 2 or 3, and then Vasilevsky giving up 1 or 2.
Okay.
3-2, 4-2 final. We're good. Under 7.
Huh. Okay.
But I don't know who wins the game.
I lean Tampa.
Okay.
I lean Tampa to win. I don't know. First thought it finishes 4-3 or 5-3.
5-3?
I think both teams score 3.
So these teams have played 3 times. It's been 7-1, 4-1, 3-1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's why that 7-1 was an anomaly because what happened after the All-Star break and Vasilevsky was horrible.
Ron Sean said under is 6-0 in the last 6 meetings in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Vasilevsky's going to play well. I mean, it's betting on one of the best goaltenders in the entire NHL just to be average.
Right.
Just give up 2.5 goals. Like, don't be crazy.
Alex B. Smith is in the chat, by the way. Chicago guy. He said, wait and grab over 5.5 at minus 125 or better in game.
Yeah, I'm already on 7. I can do that. I can wait till 5 and bet over 5 and try to middle it on 6.
Nice.
With that. So, yeah, that's how.
Otto's in the chat said Florida's missing some key players tonight, too. Hence, maybe why the line is higher than maybe it should be. That's good.
Or why it's coming down.
No, Florida's missing people. Tampa's going up.
You mean price-wise or total-wise?
Yeah, price-wise.
Total's going. Yeah, price-wise, but that's why the total's going down.
Oh, it's wow. It's minus 165 and minus 175. 2 different places. Hello. Wow. That is known as a scalp. Oh, bots would be going crazy right now if that existed. So missed that part of the job.
Time for better to book it.
Yep. Rolling, baby. Rolling.
Wild Islanders. Islanders hit 4 straight first period unders. Wild 20-4 over the last 24 games. First period under. It was only minus 125 last night.
Good bet. Bet it.
Okay.
Bet it. We for the people new to the show, and again, thank you guys for being here and watching at least this portion of the show. You probably should watch the whole show if you want to. Listen to it while audio podcasts are available. But we did the B squared play yesterday. I broke one of those out. Hadn't done that in a while. I like the game under.
Colorado Vegas
under 6. It finished 3-0. That worked out okay. This is not a B squared play, but I would bet it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. All right. I got a little juicy this for this today. Under 5.5 Wild and the Islanders.
For the game.
I'm also on the first period. Sorry, I'm on the under 5.5 for this one. I'm also
we're under 5 plus money.
No. Right now it is. I'm under 5.5. I laid 125 on this.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You got ahead of the number, and we got 5 being a winner instead of a push. So we got to bet this too.
Okay. What do you feel? How do you feel about the Jets and the Kings first period under? I didn't write that down, but I bet that too.
I don't like that.
I bet Otto likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nervous about that one.
On
Kings
who's
have been playing. Kings have been scoring, but
yeah, but they're 4-6 over the last 10 to a first period over.
yeah,
So they haven't been hitting it all that often. And you've got the starting goaltenders, Copley's in net and Hellebuck's in net.
yeah. I mean that I'd if you were betting it, I'd book that one.
Okay. The under 7, Tampa in Florida, -125. I don't normally lay this much juice, but I've been laying juice. The bankroll is healthy. I can afford to lay some extra juice.
Right. I don't know. I feel like this was going over. I'd book this one too. I mean, even at 7,
That I disagree with.
I'd let you bet under and keep coming with it. That's fine.
Yeah, I think this game could be woefully under, like 2-1 type under. This could be a playoff game type scenario.
6.5 at Circa right now, plus 125 on the under.
Yeah, this could be a playoff type game. Over 6.5, Buffalo and Columbus.
Yes.
Right?
Why is this not 7?
It is 7 now, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
It's 7 now. Everybody, I was stunned.
6.5 over 35.
FanDuel's at 7.
Goodness.
I was stunned because it's the backup goaltender for Columbus, who is Elvis, and he's horrible.
Man, oh man.
His goals against is 4.1. Buffalo's been scoring so many goals lately. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's absolutely stupid.
Gosh.
Quick's in net. I'm okay with John the Quicks being in net for the Kings. Okay. I'm cool with that. And then finally, here is your Big Ten game. Indiana -5.5 against Iowa. Betting it or booking it.
Iowa people going to get mad if I say bet it?
No, because Iowa's 3-10 ATS.
Terrible on the road, man.
3-10. They suck
This
out
gotta
loud.
Be a bet. This got to be a bet.
Indiana is 10-5 at home ATS. These teams played earlier in the year, and Iowa beat them by 2 as 1-point favorites.
It's got to be a bet.
It has to be a bet. Iowa's 4-9 straight up on the road this year. 14-1 Indiana at home. Their only loss this season at home was against Northwestern, 84-83.
Unbelievable basketball game too.
Yeah, they've lost 1 game at home. They've beaten everybody else.
Games at 4:00 Pacific, 7:00 Eastern. What do you think that line closes?
It was 6 and it came back down.
There's 2 6s popped up right now, and the rest are 5.5. I'm curious. I don't know.
I can't even read what Rainmaker just said, and I don't know if it's allowed to be on the chat. It's on the screen, but
favorite place to be is Indiana.
Well, Diana is how you say it.
In.
No.
Right.
No.
I see it. In.
Just we're just not gonna.
Indiana.
Betting it or booking it before we get kicked off late night.
Bet it. We're always good. We're on late night. We're not getting off late night. Forget that.
Favorite thing about today is what?
The chat.
Oh, wow.
The chat. Chat recognition today, boys and girls. Awesome stuff. Great show. Appearance by Derek Stevens, the owner of the Circa. You guys, he's an approachable dude. If you're in town, he's at the bar. Go say hello, and don't give him no ideas like right off the bat. You don't have to do that, but just tell him, hey, appreciate your place and like being here. But we asked you guys to put it out that we were going to be on. responded with the chat with the big numbers, people watching, congruent, viewing, whatever all those terms are that everybody wants to ask us about. How many people do you have watching congruently?
Congruently or concurrently?
Concurrently, congruently, which is I fucked it up. I think I fucked it up.
It's congruent does not mean that, but that's okay.
Right. But congruent means something.
It does mean something. It doesn't mean what you're trying to say.
I was asked that earlier. I had a phone call with someone.
Oh, that's great.
Asked, and they used the word congruent. That's why it was in my head. That's why.
Congruent means in agreement or harmony. Concurrently means all at once.
Oh, that's why that guy asked me congruent. He asked a question about the show.
I
said part of it. No, I said we disagree all the time. Me and you.
Yes, of course.
But we're congruently working. I see what now I'm gonna have to email that guy back. Say, I'll call you back later. Now I understand. But the favorite thing is the chat, the show. I got to rap a little heavy D. We got our own thing. We got our own thing right here with this group, and we're going. I just had to recognize that today. So far, that's my favorite thing about today.
Amen to that. My favorite thing about today is all of a sudden I'm a hockey guy. I got Canadians who are watching the show, who are listening to the show, who are following the podcast, who are following me on Twitter. It's been a wild couple of months. It's been a lot of fun. Hockey betting has been really, really cool. Yeah. And it's been, as I said, that's why I'm wearing the green for February, because I'm saying goodbye to February. I don't know when it changes to March, what that means, but hockey's been a ton of fun. And it's been,
it ain't over.
No, but I mean, like, we're going into the last month. I don't know when things month change. Like, even Otto said it when he was on the show that, like, it's going to flip soon where all this data kind of is worthless because of the way the teams are going to play.
Yes.
So ride it while we can.
Right.
Knowing that the end might be somewhat near.
The end is near
for all of this. And then we go into the playoffs and we go into everything else. But if somebody in Vegas would please put up the exacta prices for the Stanley Cup, you'd be doing me a really good favor. I really would like
every day.
I really on this weekend. I really would like to
drive down to Arizona and have to put all of the action in down there. I don't want to do it.
No, I want paper tickets too. I don't want to put it on apps. So I'd like to be able to go to a counter.
We can do that. We just got to drive 4 hours to do it.
Yeah, no thanks.
Well, you drive 3.5.
Right, yeah, 3 or 3. But I don't want to do that. So I would really prefer if I could go and do it at a window and have paper tickets for it. So if someone in Vegas could please do that, I'd be very thankful. It's already March 1st. So what are we waiting for? Like, let's go. Somebody put the market up, please.
I know what they're waiting for.
What? Trade deadline?
Trade deadline.
Oh.
Just announced in the chat, which we knew was happening. Kane is officially a Ranger.
Wow.
That's done. So that's going to change some.
It's the only team you go to. It's weird.
Listen, if you've earned that role or earned that thing in your contract, you should be able to dictate where you get to go. So he's going to the Rangers.
How do Blackhawks fans feel about that? That's a pretty big name.
That is a big name, but I mean, this is what happens. Is this the move that pushes them over the edge? It makes them the second choice now.
Here's a Chicago fan. Sad day, bad day. Like, they're not happy. I mean, there's no way. If you're a Blackhawk fan, there's no way. It's like Ray Bork getting traded to the Colorado Avalanche. Like, we were happy for Ray Bork, but it hurt to watch Ray Bork wear a different jersey.
Did it hurt to watch him wear a different jersey, or hurt to see him win a Stanley Cup?
No, we were happy about that. Boston was happy about that. That was the whole point. If he went there and didn't win the cup, that would have pissed people off. Him going there and winning the cup, totally cool. That was awesome. That was the whole point. The whole point was to get him a Stanley Cup, to be like, you can't end a Hall of Fame career, top 10 defenseman of all time and not have a cup on your resume.
Sonic just came in with a fun fact. You want to talk about this, chat? The opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent. I say everything about parallelograms.
He's right. They're in agreement. He's right.
I failed geometry. I did not. I didn't like geometry. I got it. That's phenomenal stuff. Hockey guy. We're working on some hockey things for Thursday or Friday. We may have Nikki on Thursday or Friday or both. Multiple guests. What?
Nikki skates or Nikki Kalikas?
Kalikas to talk
Oh,
about
let's get
this
Kalikas.
UFC
Oh,
stuff.
we gotta get we have to talk UFC Friday.
Yeah,
We have to.
big
After the weigh-ins, we have
I didn't
to.
realize all this stuff was happening, like, this weekend. I mean,
Yes.
the NASCAR races this weekend too?
Yes. Uh-huh.
What the hell is going on here? I'm never leaving the house.
Oh,
There's
it's gonna
gonna
be
be
brutal.
so much
There's
traffic here.
no debate. It's gonna be really fun though. So, and I'm kidless, so I can't wait. Let's go.
We gotta get this credential.
It's gonna be fun.
Go to the thing Saturday night.
Oh, that's I really want to go to the fight Saturday night.
Gotta
Yeah.
get that taken care of.
I've never
son.
gone as a fan to a UFC event in Vegas. That might have to change, but I've gone to a fan in other cities, but never in Vegas.
We're
as a
not
fan.
going to as a fan to this one.
Why not?
I mean, I guess you're rolling. You can go get the ticket. That's
No,
all.
we can pull some strings.
Oh, hey, I'm all about the string pulling.
Yeah, we got some people we can
People,
tap on
guys,
shoulders and
Girls,
whatnot.
I
So
love it.
we can figure this out.
Sign
But
us off. The show's over.
very nice. Sports Grid, thank you. YouTube, Twitter, thank you. We're back tomorrow for another episode of